Hello, my name is Joy Brunson in Suga, and I would like to welcome you to the Cumberland Recovery Response Center open house. This is a very exciting day, as this has been a project that we have been working on with a lot of you for a long time now. We have a presentation today of speakers, individuals who are here and want to just show appreciation and also talk through the process that we have gone through in order to get to this day. So without further ado, I would like to first introduce to you the Vice Chair of the Cumberland County Commissioner, Glenn Adams.
Good morning. And I would tell you that Joy is probably glad this day is here, because I call her every other day asking when we're going to get this open, when we're going to get this done, because it has been a labor of love to be able to get this done. Let me recognize Senator Kurt Deviere, who's with the North Carolina Senate. Thank you for coming today. And while we're here, everybody, in the mental health arena, y'all make sure y'all talk to Senator Deviere. Tell him we need some more funds. We need to stop that single cut funding, all right? Y'all make sure, so you shouldn't come when I got the microphone. But let me get on out of the way. And I come to you on a dual purpose today. I'm Vice Chair of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, so I come as that. But I'm also on the Board of Directors for Alliance also. So this has been a labor of love, and it is something that is truly needed for our community. And I want to thank RI for being here and for coming here from Durham, for Rob and the Alliance team for identifying them for Cumberland County, because this is surely needed in our county. So I want to thank them for being here. I want to recognize the importance of recovery and crisis services more than ever, especially during this pandemic. We have not been able to see people, and people are going through all kinds of things. And so as we open this, and it's been open, but make sure we have this open house, it is a delight that we're able to help our citizens. So the Recovery Response Center opened in May, actually, of 2020, and has already served over 1,400 individuals. 1,400 individuals right here in Cumberland County. It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as a much-needed psychiatric emergency room and receiving point to help patients in Cumberland County in mental health services, crisis, or seeking detoxification from substances. You know, we used to have this open, but I want to thank RI, because I think the wrong door policy is what we need. No wrong door. You come in here and they take care of you and they get you to the services that you need. That is truly important, because individuals in crisis do not need to be turned away. These individuals can be dropped off by first responders, family members, or others. We've got 10 chairs with a 23-hour unit, which is referred to as the retreat. You all are in for a joy today when you get ready to take this tour. So on this, you'll see some of our people out here. Part of today's events will spotlight the community resources available. And I want to thank each and every one of you all that came out here today, because it is really about collaboration. It is about all of us working together to make sure we meet the needs of the underserved and those that are in our community. So thank you all so very much. It's hot out here, so I'm going to get out of your way. I'm going to introduce our next speaker. So Joy wouldn't have to come back up here. I'm going to help you out, Joy, a little bit. So Victor Armstrong, the director of the North Carolina Division of Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Substance Abuse Services.
Good morning. I will try to keep it very brief. First of all, on behalf of the Division of Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Substance Abuse Services, on behalf of our Chief Deputy Secretary, Cody Kinsley, and on behalf of Secretary Mandy Cohen, it is indeed an honor and a pleasure for me to be here with you today. As some of you know, I took this role as director of the division in March of 2020. So I came into this role in the midst of a pandemic. And in the midst of this pandemic, we have learned a lot of lessons. We've learned about the disproportionate impact of the pandemic on Black and brown communities. We learned that we need to partner differently. We learned that we need to partner both with the public and the private sector, and we learned that we need to improve and increase access for all. And I'm so pleased to be here because this event today and the opening of this facility marks checking off the boxes in so many of those areas. The other thing I would say to you is that for any who know me, you know that I see myself first and foremost not as a bureaucrat but as an advocate for individuals living with mental health challenges, developmental disabilities, and who struggle with addictions. And as an advocate, I am always pleased to see anytime we create new and better avenues for access to those who need the services that we all strive to provide. So again, I thank you for what you're all doing here today. I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this. And I co-sign the words of the commissioner that we need to increase our funding to our mental health services. And with that, I thank you, and I think I'm now turning it over to Rob Robinson.
Thank you, back here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm really glad that you all decided to join us today. I am appreciative to be part of this distinguished panel. And thank you again, Senator DeVere, for being here. Really appreciate that. So since its inception, Alliance has made an ongoing commitment to ensuring 24/7 access to high-quality behavioral health crisis services. The Cumberland Recovery Response Center represents an important addition to our crisis continuum, and I am confident that it will be a valuable resource for the citizens of Cumberland County in crisis. We are excited to once again partner with RI, who, for those that are not familiar, is a national leader in developing and providing recovery-oriented behavioral health, substance use, and behavioral crisis services. They have been really great partners for us and have helped many people in Durham recover, where they also operate a crisis facility for us. For those that are not familiar, this facility will be available to serve individuals who walk in seeking crisis services, as well as those brought in under involuntary commitment orders. In addition to crisis assessment services, it will offer 23-hour observation, detoxification, and short-term crisis stabilization services delivered by a team of medical, behavioral, and peer support professionals. Now, I got to take a moment. There's several folks that have contributed to this project that I just want to say thank you to. First off, I'd like to say thank you to Chairman Adams and the Cumberland County Commissioners for their ongoing commitment and funding to behavioral health services. The funding they provide is critical to serving individuals who are uninsured or do not have a means to pay. I would like to give special recognition. I know he doesn't want me to do this, but needs to go to Commissioner Adams, who has championed this effort from the onset. And quite frankly, today would not have happened if it wasn't for his leadership and advocacy. So thank you to the commissioners. I would also like to thank the county manager, Amy Cannon, Dwayne Holder. I think I saw Dwayne. Dwayne, you here? You snuck out of Wake County. Glad you could be here today. Won't hold that against you. And Vicki Evans for their help, support, and ongoing partnership. So thank you to the county. I would also like to thank the Cumberland Crisis Intervention Team. Is there anyone here from CIT? Well, thank you anyway. We really appreciate all that you've done to make this happen. Thank you also goes out to Bridget Gesser from ART. ART is the architect. Bridget, are you here? What are you people doing today? Where you should be, man. From RI, there are several people who are instrumental in making this day a reality. I would like to single out Joy Brunson and Anna Evans. You've met Joy. They definitely deserve that. We have worked with Joy for several years. She is clearly very good at her job and knows what it takes to run a successful crisis center. So thank you to Joy and Anna, and also David Cummings, the leader, who you will see here shortly. Time to appreciate it, man. I'd also like to recognize Mike Nagowski and Cape Fear staff for their partnership and ongoing commitment to serving people with mental health and substance abuse needs. They are in the midst of developing inpatient facility, and we look forward to those beds opening as well. Now I'd like to give a special thanks to a couple of amazing folks from Alliance, Kate Peterson and Steve Price. Where are you? There's Kate. Steve here. Both have led this project from the beginning and were key in making this facility a reality. They ran into way too many obstacles along the way. Actually, I know they're still dealing with a few, but knowing Kate and Steve, they will get through them. Despite the obstacles throughout this project, they have remained steadfast, worked through the various issues, and very soon they will be able to see this facility come to fruition. So thank you, Kate and Steve. Really great job. And then lastly, there were others who deserve recognition from Alliance. Sean Schreiber, Carol Wolf, Brian Perkins, Sarah Wilson, and Kelly Goodfellow, who warrant a tremendous amount of gratitude for their leadership and dedication to this project. So Kelly, Brian, Sean, wave so people can see you guys were really helpful in this project. So developing this facility has been an incredible group effort. As stated, this team faced multiple challenges and setbacks, including a pandemic and an unprecedented supply shortage. Yet they still pushed through to make this day possible. So once again, thank you to you all, and we look forward to seeing how this facility will help the many people in Cumberland in need. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to the big guy, David Covington from RI.
And thanks so much to Rob and the Alliance team for your leadership and innovation and pioneering to make this happen. And Joy, you and your team, thank you so much. Look, if we go back, I was born in 1966. And if you get the phone book I found the phone book for the city of Atlanta for that year. In the very front, there was a page that you were supposed to rip out and put on your refrigerator. And it said, call here if you have a medical emergency or a public safety emergency. And then it had a blank. So you were supposed to figure out from somewhere else in the phone book which number to call, maybe call it yourself to double check that it worked, put it on your fridge, and then have your emergency in the kitchen so that you could figure that out. Now, if you did all of that, which most of you didn't do, but if you did do it, then who was going to come? We didn't have EMS and ambulances in the same way. We had hospital emergency departments, but you couldn't just walk in the door like you can today. So what did we do then? We leaned on law enforcement. Love it. But the next year, 911 came along. We said we are wasting lives and money because people are taking minutes to call for fire. It started there. And 911 became this promise which led to not only someone to call, but someone to come to you if that was required, and someplace for you to go that would serve anyone, anywhere, anytime. And we did that for fire, and we did that for medical, and we did that for public safety, and we stopped. And we didn't do that if you were in a mental health crisis, or you were in a suicidal crisis, or you were in an addiction crisis. And it's worse than that, because frankly, for most people today in the U.S., if you have one of those situations and you reach out, it's more than challenging to get in. It's frankly feels like punishment for many people. Most people are detained and held in an emergency department for days, or they're transported by law enforcement who's doing the best they can, but oftentimes is handcuffing the individual in the back of the vehicle, even though most are not jailed and some are. Today, in fact, we're already, most of your cell phones now will reach the crisis lifeline through dialing 988. 988 will be officially live. Congress has pushed this through for July 16th of next year. And 988, as a mental health and suicidal crisis line, lays out a promise for us to do the same kind of thing for mental health crisis that we did for medical. And Alliance and Cumberland and the law enforcement here, you are leading. This isn't just for the benefit of citizens here, but you're paving the way for expectations that this country is going to have. The promise of 988 is no matter what your crisis is, medical or psychiatric, addiction or suicidal, that you're going to get care on the spot and immediately accessible. And we're going to show care and compassion as a country in the way that we've never done before. And this site of law enforcement being able to come here directly, not needing to go to a medical clearance first, not needing to go to a hospital, not needing to go to jail, because this is faster. We're going to be faster for you. You're going to see that begin to proliferate nationwide. So I'm so excited about the work that you're doing here. It's going to make a difference here, but you are inspiring folks around the country and frankly around the world. Thank you so much. And with that, look, at the end of the day, our partners in law enforcement and hospitals are critical to this work coming off. So I'm going to introduce Major Robert Ramirez with the Fayetteville Police Department.
Woohoo! Well, you know what? Honestly, I have a speech, of course. I wrote it, and I was actually worried about what I was going to say, but it's almost like an ad-lib because naturally, we are a natural partner in this endeavor. And hearing the first few speakers, you know, honestly, I did not communicate with them. So when you hear my speech, it's actually in line, in tune, and that's what's remarkable. That it's. Let me go on my speech. Being that I was up all night typing it, let's see. All right, so, well, hello and thank you. And I don't want to sound cliche-ish. You know, it is an honor to be here. And we always say, it's an honor and it's cliché, but this is not. You know, I personally lost a child to substance abuse disorder. So, you know, for me, and I'm not trying to put myself in this platform to say I'm a subject matter expert. I'm not a subject matter expert. You know, these guys are. I just recognize the fact that the partnership does work. This center fills a huge gap for individuals and families who have had to rely on traditional health system. A system that we know is overtaxed, and more now so than ever with this pandemic thing going on. It's horrible. The other option, of course, for families is to seek the help from judicial officials, people like myself in law enforcement. I'm more equipped to deal with a criminal element, you know, and I'm good at it. But when the crisis is elevated to where it's a life and death situation and you call the police, our intentions are great, is to preserve life, but we know sometimes how that ends because we are more equipped to deal with a criminal element. There's no denying, no matter what we hear in the media, that we the police are in the people-saving business. Unfortunately, many of our tools are intended to be used as a last resort, like when oil fails, when the frontline mental health practitioners, clinicians, and specialists have exhausted their skills and tools. With this in mind, we in law enforcement see this wonderful center as a force multiplier for all who are entrusted with the well-being of our community, truly welcoming the partnership. How will the police department, and I'm speaking here for all law enforcement in the area, you know, all the law enforcement here are proactively involved in this endeavor to see the success of the services for people who are in crisis. So I cheated a little bit. I actually looked at RI International's values and priorities, and I used that as a guide on how I can actually, you know, articulate that we are definitely a partnership in this endeavor. So one of their values and priorities is maintaining a recovery culture. So we in law enforcement have been operating on a victim-centered approach for decades. Having empathy is a must, and passing judgment is counterproductive. We must break this deadly cycle when a person is in crisis, not to constantly judge them or see them as those people in there and not my family, not my person, is not me. They're definitely in crisis, and we definitely need to break that cycle and not judge them. Ensuring clinical best practices. Who are we in law enforcement to not listen and accept from the advice from counsel from those in the mental health profession? So, you know, if we are to listen to those who practice mental health, you know, the career path, I'm sorry, you know, it's important for us to listen. And for me to judge them for, it's not going to work out, you call me, you dial 911, yeah, I'm going to take out my handcuffs and do what I got to do. No, I got to listen. I got to slow it down. What works best is to listen and support the cause that create best practices, and they definitely know what the best practices are. Making safety is a priority for all. No other priority is more secured to those in policing. I mean, no more sacred. Look at me, I'm getting nervous now. Why is it? It's crazy.
It's okay.
You know, so for the most part, you know, when I start talking about policing and then mental health crisis, a lot of people, you know, because they experience a lot of negativity with the police officers, that's where I get a little bit lost in trying to prove the fact that we're not. We're definitely here to make sure that safety is a priority. And for us in law enforcement, it is a priority. So if in this center, for this center to exist and ensure that that priority is filled, I'm in it for sure. Measuring value and results. That's another of the values and priorities that the center provides. Every time we become complacent or begin treating everyone and everything as routine, we get in trouble. No matter what your calling may be, one must constantly measure the value and the results. Evidence-based is the name of the game. The catchphrase for today that we always hear is reimagine this and reimagine that. Well, here we are. We imagined this, and here we are. Let's definitely support this. Optimizing quality and compliance is another one of their values and priorities. So setting high standards and adhering to even higher accountability is a recipe for success, and one which in law enforcement we can appreciate due to managing persons in crisis or high liability calls for service. I hear on the radio every time officers go to a scene or respond to a scene of a person in crisis, and I'm telling you right now, it definitely causes me to cringe, definitely causes me to want to get on that radio, want to respond to ensure that the crisis is going to be handled, properly or successful. I literally cringe every time I hear an officer go into a call needing additional backup, additional supervisors to ensure that that person in crisis is being handled, appropriately. And the last one is serving as a critical resource for first responders. Again, you got me at hello. I definitely agree that this center is in it for me, I guess. As I stated in my quote, I had a quote that I said this is the life-saving center. Life-saving center. It's that serious. One cannot allow for anyone to not see this as nothing less than a life-saving service. I have seen lost, overwhelmed, helpless souls, and I have even seen distressed first responders becoming mental health patients themselves after being practically thrown into unsuccessful management of a person in crisis. And what am I saying? When we lack the CIT training, or we lack, that partnership and that collaborative approach, some of my guys and gals out there, look, I personally have had to bring somebody in this center that was in my field. I've definitely had driven somebody to Wilmington to the center there that's in my field. I've definitely have responded to attempted or if not successful suicides of people in my field. In conclusion, we in law enforcement consider ourselves guardians and warriors of our community, a community where our family and friends live, not just an arena of us and them. Having this center providing crisis health recovery and consulting services is a blessing to the well-being of our community. And for that, you have the support of your local law enforcement. Thank you. I'm nervous.
Thank you, and thank you to all of our speakers. We're gonna shift just a little bit. RI is known for being peer-powered, and what does that mean? It means that we value individuals with lived experience, individuals that have been there. Over 50% of our 1,300 employees across the U.S. have lived experience and are in recovery and living and thriving every day. So I would like to call up Lisa Hennett, who is going to come and share her story.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Joy. I appreciate it. It's just an honor to be asked today. I remember 10 years ago, nobody was asking me to do anything, So today I'm feeling blessed and honored to be a part of something so amazing and bigger than I am. Oh man, my name is Lisa. I am a recovery coach here at the Cumberland Recovery Response Center here, man. I was here in the beginning, man, when the door opened up, when it was just nothing. I got to see the vision come into play, and I get to see it come into play each and every day, right? As we go in here and try to bring some of my own experience-driven hope to somebody else suffering from substance use, man, and mental illness. Oh man, like today I'm like 9.5 years clean, right, from substance abuse, right? And I like to say that a little mental illness was in there because I was a little crazy, you know what I mean? So I think that played a role in my lifestyle. I had been out there for like 23 years, right? 23 years. Like I missed my whole 20s and 30s out there, right? I was in there for my whole 20s, 30s, and half of my 40s. So when I came into this process at 46, without any purpose, without any kind of direction, I just didn't know which way I to go or what to do, right? And somebody introduced me to this program that I got into, which is called Ramirez, right? And I had been in and out of programs, so I didn't think they would work for me, right? But I became willing. I became willing the last time I went in because I realized that my daughter was grown. And I had a grandchild now, 2 of them as a matter of fact. And I didn't want my grandchildren to go through what my daughter had to deal with. Like not having me attentive in her life, right? Even though I was there, I was not there emotionally. So I didn't really know how to be a parent in the first place. And I was 25 when I had her, and I still didn't know how to be a mother. You know, I remember after being like 6, 7 years clean, man, I was like, what do? I still have no purpose. I still don't have no meaning in my life. What am I to do? I'm just clean. I'm still feeling lonely. I'm still feeling isolated. How do I get out of this? And I remember going to these meetings, and I remember going to meetings and they said, just keep coming back. Just keep coming back. So I kept coming back. And I started hearing my story in other people. You know, and me, for myself, I was really scary kind of person, man. I was uncomfortable. When I get uncomfortable, I take that flight. I run, I leave. I'm gone. I remember leaving the classroom for 3 months when my teacher asked me to come up to the stage for do some algebra problem. I was like, how dare you? I did not raise my hand. What is she calling me for, right? I was crazy because I was uncomfortable because I didn't know, and I didn't have the strength to let people know that I didn't know. I was afraid that I should already know this. You know, I didn't want people to see that I didn't know. I felt dumb, you know, insecure, and all that stuff that comes with the lifestyle I chose to live, right? So when I finally decided to get clean, when I decided to turn my life around at 46, today I'm 55, but I'm loving it. But at 46, I decided to turn my life around, man, and to become a better version of myself. And so in doing that, right, I got involved, man. I got involved in service work. I started doing H&I. We used to come here. We used to be Roxy's. And I remember they closed down, and the feeling that the community felt when it closed down. Like they ain't had nowhere to go, you know? And the closest place they could go was Lumberton, but you had to live in that county in order to go into the facility. So when it closed down, they was lost. And then comes R&I. Like that was a breakthrough for so many people in this community who suffered from this disease, man, I call addiction. You know, they in place for them people, like the door don't close for nobody. And I'm here to share my lived experience to help them implement that change in their lives. To help them find meaning and purpose in their lives today. Like somebody did for me. And it took another recovering person that, I like to say recovering person, I don't want to label nobody as addict. So the other recovering person in my life that came to me and I built that relationship with that one person because I wasn't ready to share with everybody, right? Because I was ashamed of my life. I was ashamed of where I've been. I was ashamed of the things that I did just to get one more. That I didn't want people to judge me. So I met this one young lady and asked her to sponsor me. And I began to build a relationship with her, and I began to share a little bit about myself with her as I did the step work, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I got to step 4, I had to go deep inside of me. Because even though I stopped using, there was so much other stuff going on that I had no idea even existed. But I'm truly grateful for R&I, Cumberland Joy, man, for taking a chance on me and opening the door for me and allowing me to be a part of something so wonderful and so great. I know I only got 5 minutes, but I get up here, I get passionate. Until I get passionate about that recovery report. But I'm not going to share too much. I just want to say thank you, Joy. Thank you to all those who's a part of the RI team. Thank you to my team, Transformation. Thank you to all the other teams that work here to make this thing work. We are so grateful. Thank y'all for letting me be a part of this today. Miranda.
Good afternoon, everybody. So the mission and the vision statement of RI means a lot to all of us. And I think it brings home everything that RI International is about, everything that we do here at Cumberland RRC. So I've taken our mission and vision statement and I've done a spoken word for it. And I hope you guys enjoy it. While we may pardon the interruption, we won't pardon the intrusion. RI is leading the way with diversity and inclusion. What a movement, empowerment is part of our mission, while activating is the focus of our vision. Here at RI, we have many roles, empowering people to recover, succeed, and accomplishing their goals. Now our vision is activating the next generation. It's time for a celebration of frame-breaking healthcare innovation, supporting people beyond their behavioral healthcare needs so they may succeed. Community, where they live, work, and play. Reacclimating them to this life. What more can we say? We see the long battles unfold. We feel the uncertainty. We hear the cries of loved ones go from fear to congratulatory. We call them hope stories. Finding meaning in life. What's your purpose? Ours is to reconnect themselves and others, and we're just scratching the surface. Our no wrong door policy is our philosophy, our cultural approach to each and every individual's needs. At Cumberland RRC, we are surrounded by a community in need, and it is here where we are determined to succeed. We are blessed and surrounded by culture, blessed with diversity, overwhelming situations, but we remain unhinged as we look for opportunities to befriend. We only accept the challenge to meet and exceed expectations. Welcome to Cumberland RRC, RI International.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
I dropped the mic, y'all.
It was it.
Well, I know it is starting to drizzle a little bit, so we're going to move on to the next part of our day. I do want to recognize all of the RI family from across North Carolina and Louisiana that came to support us today. We are a family here, and so I just want to make sure that all of the RI staff from across North Carolina is recognized for coming and supporting, because that's what we do. We are supportive of each other, and we are a family here. So for the next section, we are going to start making our way inside. Can I get my tour guides up front, please? All of our tour guides are in RI shirts. We are going to take smaller groups of 3 to 5 through the facility, answer all of your questions, and really showcase the facility to each of you. Just give a round of applause for our tour guides. All right, so without further ado, if our tour guides can come through the front doors, and we will start with tours through our facility. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you for supporting us today.
How you doing? How you doing? Thank you.